Dear students, in this online lecture, we will discuss reactions of carbenes. So, as we have already discussed, these carbenes they are highly reactive reaction intermediates in which carbon is divalent in nature, and it has total 6 valence electrons. So, these carbenes they basically act as a electrophiles in nature. So let us begin with the one second. Okay. So let us see the reactions of these carbenes. Reactions of carbenes. So as we have already known, these carbenes they are divalent species. They are divalent species with two covalent bond, and there's a one lone pair of electron as such. So there are total 6 valence electrons. And since there are 6 valence electrons, so they are electron deficient compounds. So they are electron deficient compounds since they need 8 electrons to complete its octet. So they are electron deficient compounds, and therefore they act as electrophiles. That means they attack on the electron rich species. Electrophile means electron loving. They want electrons, so they attack on the electron rich species. Now the very first reaction, and that's a very important reaction of these carbenes, is addition reactions. Addition reactions of these carbenes. And the very first addition reaction of these carbenes is addition to alkenes. Now alkenes they are electron rich. Due to the presence of this double bond, they are electron rich and they rapidly react with these carbenes to give a cyclopropane derivatives, in which this carbene it get added to this double bond to give cyclopropane derivatives. And this reaction is very useful, for the detection of carbenes. This reaction is also used for detection of carbene. So if I take a very simple example, for example, if you have a simple ethylene molecule, and if I carry out addition of carbene, so since this pi bond, this double bond is a source of electron and this acts as a electrophile, so simple addition take place over this double bond. uh, it is basically a cycloaddition reaction in which this addition take place to this double bond, okay, to give you a corresponding cyclopropane derivative. So it will become like this. So that is your cyclopropane derivative. So this reaction is very useful for detection of these carbenes derivatives. So if you have a carbene and if you add alkene, these carbenes they rapidly undergoes the addition reaction to alkene to give a cyclopropane derivative. So this reaction is very useful for the detections of carbenes. Now in case of substituted alkenes, this addition of these carbenes to the substituted alkenes, it depends upon whether the addition is of this singlet carbene take place or the addition of triplet carbenes take place. So in case of substituted alkenes, so let us see, in case of substituted alkenes, the nature of product which is formed, Okay, it depends upon whether addition of singlet carbene take place or the addition of triplet carbenes take place. And that also describe the stereochemistry of this addition reaction. So let us see the stereochemistry of addition of singlet and triplet carbenes. So I will just write carbenes to alkenes. So first of all is addition of singlet carbene to alkene. Now addition of singlet carbene to alkene is an example of stereospecific reaction, and this is very important. Exam बहुत time question आता है. So the addition of singlet carbene to alkene is an example of stereospecific reaction. Now, what is stereospecific reaction? Stereospecific reaction is basically that reaction in which one stereoisomer in which one stereoisomer of reactant gave one product, one stereoisomeric product, while another stereoisomer gave another product, gave another stereoisomeric product. Now what this mean? Now this mean one stereoisomer of reactant give one stereoisomeric product, while another stereoisomer of reactant give the another stereoisomeric product. For example, here we are taking alkene, so you can have two kind of alkene. You have a cis alkene, you have a trans alkene. Now both cis alkene and trans alkene, they are stereoisomer. So when addition of singlet alkene take place to the cis singlet carbene take place to the cis alkene, it give rise to a one stereoisomeric product. And when addition of singlet carbene take place to the trans alkene, it gave rise to another stereoisomeric product. So in both cases the products are different. So let us take the addition of singlet carbene to cis alkene and let us see what will be the product. So here you have a cis alkene. Suppose you have this one where R may be any group. For example, if R is methyl, then it will be cis-2-butane, or if R is phenyl, then it will be cis-stilbene. So R may be any group and it's a cis alkene. And suppose this is your carbene and this is a singlet carbene in which both electrons they are present in same orbital. Now here, since both electrons they are present in the same orbital, so this reaction take place via concerted mechanism. Now concerted mechanism means the breaking and formation of all bonds they take place in a same step. So what will happen? This singlet carbene, since both electrons they are present in the same orbital, so it attack on this electron-rich double bond simultaneously. That means addition is a concerted addition. So these pi electrons which are rich in electrons, okay, so they will attack on this carbene which is an electrophile, and these pair of electrons in turn they will attack on the another carbon. So that will result in a formation of concerted transition state. So what will happen in concerted transition state? Bond between this carbon and this carbon will start forming. This carbon and this carbon will also start forming, while this double bond it will start breaking. So you will get a concerted transition state in which you have a partial double bond between these two carbons. So you will have a hydrogen and hydrogen over here, and partial single bond between here. So now you can see it is a cyclic transition state in which you have a partial bond between these two carbons. And since this transition state is a cyclic transition state, so no rotation around carbon-carbon bond is possible. So this carbon-carbon bond, it can't rotate since it's a cyclic transition state, and and there's a double bond character between these two carbons. So this carbon-carbon bond, it can't rotate. So it will just as such will give the final product. So your final product will be corresponding cyclopropane derivative, and it will be like this. Okay. So now if R groups are same, in that case you can see this molecule has a plane of symmetry. Okay, this molecule has a plane of symmetry in which these both sides they are same. So this compound is a meso compound. As you know, compounds with having plane of symmetry, they are called meso compounds. And since it is a meso compound, so it's a optically inactive. So it's a meso compound, and this compound is a optically inactive. That means it will not rotate plane polarized light since there is a plane of symmetry in the molecule. So that was your addition of singlet carbene to cis alkene. So let's take the same example by taking trans alkene. So addition of singlet carbene to trans alkene. Now in case of trans alkene, you have these alkyl groups or the similar groups, they are on opposite side. So as I told you, R may be any group. And then same addition of singlet carbene. Okay, so again, since both electrons they are present in the same orbital, so the addition take place simultaneously like this. So again, this will result in a formation of cyclic concerted transition state in which all bond breaking and all bond formation take place simultaneously. So again, it results in a formation of cyclic transition state. So again, in this cyclic transition state, since there is a partial double bond between these two carbon, and this transition state is cyclic, so no rotation is possible around these two carbon-carbon bonds. Since no rotation is possible in this transition state, so this will as such will give the corresponding product. So that will give rise to a corresponding product like this. So you can see in this case there is a no plane of symmetry in this molecule, and therefore this molecule will be optically active. So this will give rise to optically active product. So you can see one isomer of alkene, that is cis alkene, it gives rise to a meso product, which is one stereoisomeric product, and while the trans alkene, which is another stereoisomer of alkene, give rise to an optically active product, which is another stereoisomer. So both cis and trans alkenes, which are both stereoisomers, they give rise to corresponding stereoisomeric product. So you can say the addition of singlet carbene to alkene is an example of stereospecific reaction. Now stereospecific reaction means one stereoisomer gives the one stereoisomeric product, while the another stereoisomer gives the another stereoisomeric product. Okay, so here you will get this product. So we can say the addition of singlet carbene to alkene is an example of stereospecific addition. So this is an example of stereospecific addition. Now let us take addition of triplet carbenes. Now suppose if you have a triplet carbene, so addition of triplet carbene. Now, addition of triplet carbene to alkene is an example of non-stereospecific reaction. It's an example of non-stereospecific reaction. Now, non-stereospecific reaction means in both cases, that is in case of cis-alkene and trans-alkene, when addition of triplet carbene take place, it results in a formation of same product. That will give rise to a same product. So let us see how. So suppose you have a cis-alkene. Let us start with the cis-alkene. Now this is your cis-alkene. Okay, and say this is your triplet carbene. Now in triplet carbene, both electrons they are present in different orbitals. So they behave like this triplet carbene. They behave like bi radicals. They behave like biradicals in which these two single electrons they are present in different orbitals. So here concerted addition does not take place, but radical addition take place. So what will happen? First of all, this single electron, it will attack over this carbon. So this carbon-carbon double bond undergoes a homolytic bond cleavage. So one electron of this double bond will shift to this carbon, another will shift to this carbon. So now one electron is over this carbon, one from this carbon. So they form a carbon-carbon single bond. And one electron of this double bond will goes to this carbon. So it will have a one electron. So it will have a one electron over here. So R hydrogen. Okay. So R hydrogen. So this forms a single bond with CH2 and you have one electron over here. So you get this kind of radical intermediate. So you'll get free radical intermediate. Now in previous case you get a cyclic transition state, but in this case, in case of triplet carbene, you get a free radical intermediate. Now in free radical intermediate, you can see there is a carbon-carbon single bond. So this carbon-carbon single bond, it can undergoes a free rotation. So it can rotate. So if it rotate, this will give rise to another intermediate. So this H will goes up, this will goes down. Suppose this carbon rotate. So sorry. So it will gives you a like this. Okay. So this intermediate, so it also form a carbon-carbon single bond over here. So the first intermediate will give rise to a one product, while the another intermediate will give rise to a another product. So this will give rise to this product. So this is your meso product, while this one will give rise to a optically active product. So now you can see here you will get the mixture of these two products. You will not get a one single enantiomer, but you get the mixture of these two products. Similarly, if you have a trans-alkene, so again if you have a trans-alkene, now in case of trans-alkene you will also get the same product. So now suppose you have a trans-alkene. So again if you carry out the addition of this triplet carbene to this trans-alkene, so again it take place by the free radical pathway. So as we have discussed above, it will give rise to a free radical intermediate. So you will have a single electron over here, then you have a CH2 electron over here. So again this carbon-carbon bond, this can rotate. So again this will give rise to a two intermediates. So one electron over here. So this will give rise to HR. So one intermediate, say this one it will give rise to a one product. So this will give rise to a one product. So that you can see this is an optically active product with no plane of symmetry, while this will give rise to a second product. Sorry, here you will have, since this rotation take place, so here you will have R group and here you will have hydrogen. So this will give rise to meso product. So again here in case of trans alkene you will get mixture of products which are same as that of cis alkene. So product formation is same as that of cis alkene. So you can see in case of in case of triplet carbene, the addition of triplet carbene to alkene is an example of non-stereospecific reaction in which both stereoisomers of alkene, that is cis and trans, they result in a formation of same product. While in case of singlet carbene, the addition is stereospecific in which both stereoisomers they give rise to corresponding different stereoisomeric products. So that was the addition of the singlet and triplet carbenes to alkene. So this is a very important reaction and it usually come in exam. The next reaction of these carbenes is a addition to allenes. So let's take the next reaction. The addition to allenes. Now, what are allenes? Now, allenes are the compounds in which two double bonds are present at consecutive positions. For example, if you have CH2, double bond C, double bond CH2. So here two double bonds are present over consecutive position at successive positions. So if we carry out the addition of carbene, so same as in previous cases, this carbene is get added across one of these double bonds to give rise to a cyclopropane derivative. Like this. But in case of unsymmetrical allenes, for example, if you have a this substituted allene, so in this case, addition of carbene can take place over this less substituted double bond or this more substituted double bond. So this depends whether carbene is a singlet carbene or it is a triplet carbene. So if carbene is a singlet carbene, now singlet carbene, as we know, it can be generated from alpha-alpha elimination of halo compounds. For example, if you have a tribromomethane and if you treat it with potassium hydroxide, so it undergoes alpha-alpha elimination to give a dibromomethyl carbenes. So singlet carbene, it undergoes an addition to more substituted double bond. So this will result in a formation of more substituted cyclopropane derivative like this. While in case of triplet carbene, it undergoes the addition to less substituted double bond. So triplet carbene. So as we know, triplet carbene can be obtained from decomposition of diazomethane. So if you have a diazomethane and if you heat it, what you will get is triplet carbene. So this triplet carbene, it undergoes addition to less substituted carbon-carbon double bond. So this will result in a formation of this one. So reason behind this behavior is in this case when addition of singlet carbene take place, as we have already discussed, this take place via formation of cyclic transition state which has a alkene like character. And this alkene like transition state, as we know, more substituted alkenes are more stable. So in case of when addition take place to this more substituted double bond, transition state is which is alkene like, it is more substituted and it is more stable. So that's why singlet carbene, it undergoes a addition to this more substituted double bond. Next reaction is again a addition reaction to alkynes. So in the same way as that of alkenes or allynes, these carbenes they undergoes addition to alkynes. So suppose you have any alkynes, say you have this one, and it can undergo say addition reaction with carbene. Suppose you treat it with tribromomethane in presence of potassium hydroxide. So that result in a formation of carbene. So this will be carbene. So it undergoes addition to cross this triple bond to give rise to a corresponding product. So there will be a cyclopropene derivative in this case. So that will be your product. Now next is addition to arenes. Now arenes means aromatic compounds. The addition reaction to arenes, which are aromatic compounds. So these carbenes they can undergo the addition reaction to arenes in the same way as that of alkenes, and this normally results in a ring expansion. So addition of carbenes to arenes results in a ring expansion. So let's take the example. For example, if you have a benzene, which is simplest aromatic compound, and suppose you heat it with diazomethane. So when you heat it diazomethane, that result in a formation of carbene. So that carbene undergoes a addition across one of these double bond. So I will write over here. So this carbene, it undergoes the addition across one of these double bonds. So initially this will result in a formation of cyclopropane type of derivative. So you will get something like this. It get added across this double bond. Now this system is a highly unstable, as you can see. One 3-member ring is there, one 6-member ring is there, so it's highly unstable. So it undergoes a rearrangement. To give rise to a 7-membered ring. So it will undergo a rearrangement like this. So this carbon-carbon bond it breaks to give a 7-membered compound. So 7-membered product. So you have double bond over here. Okay. So this gives rise to a 7-membered ring, which is a cycloheptatriene. So your product is cycloheptatriene. Okay. So you can see this 6-member ring, upon addition of this carbene, it undergoes a ring expansion to give a 7-membered ring. Similarly, if you perform Riemer-Tiemann reaction, of pyrrole. Now, Riemann-Tiemann reaction is a reaction of aromatic compounds where that result in a formylation in which CHO group is get attached to the ring. Suppose you have this pyrrole, and if you perform Riemann-Tiemann reaction in presence of chloroform potassium hydroxide, alcoholic potassium hydroxide, so that results in a formylation of this pyrrole ring. So you get the normal formylated product. Formylation take place at this alpha position, so that is your expected product. But with this expected product, you get a some another side product, and that side product is chloropyridine. This one. So why there is a formation of this side product chloropyridine? So again, this can be explained on the basis of formation of carbene and then the reaction of that carbene with pyrrole molecule. So what basically happens in this reaction, this chloroform in the presence of alcoholic potassium hydroxide, it undergoes alpha-alpha elimination to give a dichloromethyl carbene. Okay. And then this carbene, it also undergoes the addition reaction to this one of double bond. So this carbene which is formed over here. So this question was also asked in one of the last year of exam. So this dichloromethyl carbene, it undergoes the addition across this one of carbon-carbon double bond of pyrrole ring. So first it will give a addition product like this, which then undergoes a rearrangement to give rise to a chloropyridine, 3-chloropyridine or beta chloropyridine. So it undergoes a rearrangement with the loss of H plus ion. So you have a pair of electron over, so this will shift over here, this will shift over here, and this will go out. So there will be loss of H plus ion and Cl negative ion. This H plus ion from this is also lost to give rise to a beta chloropyridine. So we can say this dichloromethyl carbene, it react with this pyrrole molecule to give rise to a 3-chloropyridine or beta chloropyridine. Now next reaction is insertion reaction. The next is insertion reaction of carbenes. Now these carbenes, they can show insertion reaction between carbon hydrogen bonds as well as hetero bond like oxygen hydrogen or nitrogen hydrogen bond. So let's see the insertion of these carbenes between carbon hydrogen bond. Now insertion means, for example, if you have carbene, it will get inserted in between this carbon and hydrogen bond. So how it will get inserted? So it will add in between this carbon hydrogen bond. So what will happen? There will be formation of carbon bond over here, and this hydrogen will also get attached to this carbon. Okay. So in this way the insertion will take place. So let's take the example of insertion into the carbon hydrogen bond. And this insertion reaction take place to beta, in case of carbon hydrogen bond, insertion take place to beta carbon hydrogen bonds when there is a no alpha carbon hydrogen bond. So there should be not alpha carbon hydrogen bond, and insertion of these carbons take place to the beta carbon hydrogen bond. So let's take the example. Suppose you have this one. Suppose you have this molecule, this one, and so when you treat it with alcoholic potassium hydroxide, it undergoes a alpha-alpha elimination reaction. So there's a loss of H plus and Cl negative ion from this position to give rise to a corresponding carbene. So this result in a carbene, and so that is your carbene. Now this carbene, it undergoes an insertion reaction over beta position. So you can see this carbon is a alpha carbon and this carbon is a beta carbon. So it undergoes an insertion over this beta position. So since there is no alpha carbon hydrogen bond, so insertion at beta carbon hydrogen. So it will get inserted in between this beta carbon hydrogen. So that will result in a formation of this. So that is your product. Now, if reaction is carried out in presence of solvent, so if reaction is carried out in presence of solvent such as cyclohexane, in that case, now this insertion was intramolecular, which take place within the same molecule. So in that case, intermolecular insertion can also take place. And insertion of carbene in carbon hydrogen bond of this cyclohexane take place. So suppose you have this one. Now if you heat this diazo compound, there will be loss of this nitrogen molecule and you will get carbene. Now if we perform this reaction in presence of cyclohexane, now if you perform this reaction in presence of cyclohexane, so this will be your cyclohexane. Okay. In that case, this carbon hydrogen bond is this carbene is get inserted between one of carbon hydrogen bond of this cyclohexane. So it get inserted between one of this carbon hydrogen bond of cyclohexane. So insertion take place, and here insertion is intermolecular to give you a this product. Similarly, apart from the carbon hydrogen bond, insertion can also take place to the oxygen hydrogen or nitrogen hydrogen bonds. For example, if you have an oxygen hydrogen bond, suppose you have an alcohol and you treat it with diazomethane, and if you heat it, so what will happen? This carbene which is formed over here, it get inserted between this oxygen hydrogen bond. So it will result in a formation of ether. So that will result in a formation of ether. Similarly, in case of nitrogen hydrogen bond, it can get inserted between nitrogen hydrogen bonds. Okay, to give rise to, in the case of nitrogen hydrogen bonds, this will give rise to the ammonia, corresponding amines. Like this. Suppose here you have some R prime. So these were the insertion reactions of carbenes. Now next reaction is a rearrangement reactions of carbene. Now these carbenes, they can undergo a rearrangement reactions in which group present over alpha carbon, it undergoes a rearrangement. So group present over alpha carbon undergoes rearrangement, and that result in a formation of carbon-carbon double bond. For example, if you have this carbene, suppose you have this carbene. Now, group present over this alpha position, so this is your alpha position, it undergoes a migration or it undergoes a rearrangement. So this group will shift over here. So these pair of electrons, it shift between these carbon-carbon bonds. So that result in a formation of corresponding alkenes. For example, now if you have three different groups over here, then the migrating power of different groups is in order of hydrogen has a highest migrating power than aryl group and then alkyl group. For example, if you have, suppose you have this molecule CH2Br, and suppose you treat it with the base N-butyl lithium. So what will happen again? Alpha-alpha elimination will take place, and that result in a formation of carbene. So initially, I will write over here, initially that result in a formation of carbon. So you have methyl, this carbene. And since now phenyl group, it has more migrating power as compared to methyl group. So this group will migrate, these electrons will shift over here. So that results in a formation of corresponding alkene. So this gives rise to a corresponding alkene. So in this way, the rearrangement reaction can take place. Moreover, you can also say, since there is a formation of carbenes over here, and this can also undergo the insertion reaction if beta carbon hydrogen bonds are available. Now in this case, there are no beta carbon hydrogen bonds are there. So this is alpha carbon, and this is beta carbon. So this can also undergo the insertion over here. So insertion reaction can also take place to these beta carbon hydrogen bonds. And similarly, there is another example of rearrangement reaction, and that is called Wolff rearrangement. So what happens in case of Wolff rearrangement? If you have a acyl carbene, suppose you have a acyl chloride, and now if you treat it with a diazomethane, so this Cl will be replaced by N2, and you will get this one. And if you heat it, there is a loss of nitrogen molecule, and you get acyl carbene. Now in this acyl carbene, this alkyl group, it can migrate to this carbon. So this bond will shift over here to give rise to a ketene. So this molecule is a ketene. Okay. And if you treat this ketene with H plus and water, if you do its hydrolysis, you will get corresponding carboxylic acid. So in an indirect way, you have converted this acid chloride into the carboxylic acid that has one more carbon, and this whole reaction is called Wolff rearrangement, and this takes place via this carbene rearrangement reaction, or the migration of this alkyl group to this carbon. These were the reactions, these were the various reactions of these carbenes. So just go through over these reactions, and go through from with notes also, and reactions given in book also. And if you have any doubt regarding these reactions, you can ask. And the most important reactions are insertion, rearrangement, and especially addition reactions of these carbenes to alkenes. And the addition reaction of these carbenes to alkene depends upon whether addition of singlet carbene take place or triplet carbene take place. And in case of singlet carbene, addition is stereospecific. In case of triplet carbene, it is non-stereospecific.